Hello, party people. As I am recording this episode number 14, I am in the best mood ever. The sun is shining, there is snow everywhere, and I am slightly hungover. I had the absolute pleasure of being taken to a Toronto Raptors basketball game last night, and I had the absolute best time. Like, I love going to sports games, but especially basketball and Raptors games. It's so high energy. And I decided to kind of make an episode about that. But not just about how I personally love going, but why witches should care about sports. I know that sounds kind of silly maybe, but I remember the last game I went to last year sometime in, I think, October. I made a poll on Instagram, like, do you give a shit about basketball? And most of y'all said absolutely the fuck not. There was a tiny bit of y'all that said, yes, I love the sports ball, let's do it. And I really see that as like such a missed opportunity for so many witchy people when they don't care about sports in any way, shape, or form. So let me explain this, because I know that might sound weird. So especially for newer, like newbie witches, people who are trying to learn energy work, people who are honestly inexperienced and trying to get more comfortable with picking up on vibes, picking up on energy, and noticing the movement of energy in a space, whether that is your bedroom or a crowded bus or your workplace or whatever. Going to a live sports situation, especially something like basketball, which is so high energy, it is such an amazing opportunity for anyone who is magically or spiritually inclined to learn how to notice energy, to notice when the energy moves, like when it is so pumped up, amped up, excited, and then when it gets a little bit deflated. You can notice the energy of each team. There's always a story energetically in any sports match if you just pay attention to it. And so what you could pay attention to if you're thinking about taking me up on this invitation is to go to a live sports match, preferably basketball or soccer. I find those tend to be the most high energy ones. I've been to a bunch of different ones, and that I would say is pretty up there. But hey, if you like hockey, which I actually used to play, if you like baseball, like whatever it is that you can see as an entry point to what I'm talking about, just go, show up, pay attention to the energy of the players on the team. Maybe choose a player and like see how their energy ebbs and flows throughout the game. Pick a team, see how their energy as a whole, a cohesive unit, ebbs and flows throughout the game. You can also pay attention to the audience and see how the energy of the audience ebbs and flows throughout the game. Even if you have a really hard time sensing energy and feeling vibes, like even if you're totally feeling blocked off, I can pretty much guarantee that if you go to a sports game, you will at least be able to pick up on something. It might not be as much as, a really experienced witchy person might be able to pick up on, but you'll feel at least something because the energy at these games is so massive. It's so palpable. It's so like electrifying. It really, really is. And so it is such an opportunity to get more comfortable with ourselves as witchy people, as energy workers, as, whatever way that you want to frame whatever it is that you do spiritually and Maybe you consider yourself religious. That's cool too. Whatever way you want to think about it. All of spiritual work, at least in my particular framework and my experience over being involved in this world for more than 20 years, all of it does rest very much on energy and the movement of energy. And so when we get to practice feeling energy, we get to be better at our spiritual work. Because learning energy and learning how to feel it and sense it is a language. And so you got to practice. You got to get out there. So going to a sports match is kind of like an immersive energy noticing experience, if you let it be. And if you're someone who hates sports, which I weirdly know like a lot of witchy folks tend to be, like a little bit more on the nerdy side, a little bit more on the introverted bookworm, keep to myself type of side. There's not a lot of jocks in the witchy space, interestingly. And so it might sound like I'm telling you to do something that you're like, oh my God, I would rather explode or jump off a building than go to see a live sports match. Totally fair. And, you don't have to splurge on NBA or whatever fancy, expensive tickets. Like you can go to something that is cheaper, something that's more local. Like maybe you want to go to a high school game. Maybe you want to go to a university game or something like that. Maybe you want to go watch your husband play pickup hockey with his friends. Maybe you want to go watch your girlfriend play basketball with her friends. Like whatever it is, try to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. If you do have an aversion to this thing called sports. Because what it really is, and I'm oversimplifying it a little bit here, just kind of for the sake of making a point, but what it really is, if you think about it, is it's energy work. Sports and playing at that high of a level, it requires energy work on the part of the players. Obviously, they've reached this incredibly high level of excellence and professional skill, which personally I love being around that no matter what. I think it's exciting, it's motivating, it's fun, it's electrifying, it's all of those things. But those players need to know how to move the energy of their team, of themselves. They need to be able to read the energy of the other team. It really is a beautiful thing to observe from a witchy energy work perspective. And so I challenge you to get out of your comfort zone, go to a game, and give it a try. What I'm talking about, pay attention to the movement of energy. Pay attention to what is going on. So I think as the more that we practice noticing energy and how it moves, the better our witchcraft practices will be. Because witchcraft is ultimately about the manipulation of energy to do stuff we want it to do. It's collaborative. It is about relationship building. Of course, I write all about that in my first book called Witch Body. So if you want to see my whole magical philosophy on how it really is about a bunch of different beings collaborating with one another and working together, you can get the whole breakdown in that book. So go check it out. But that being said, it is still about energy manipulation, energy shaping, energy direction. And you can't do any of that unless you first can pick up on it and notice energy in the first place. So trust me, going to a sports situation and observing what you see and what you feel will only add to your witchcraft practice in a positive way. So if you're sleeping on the sports thing, it is such a missed opportunity. So I hope you rise to the challenge, give it a go. Feel free to let me know how that works for you and what you learned if you like. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Sabrina M. Scott. You can check out my website at sabrinamscott.com, maybe even book a tarot reading if you like. And of course, my new clothing line at shopsabrinamscott.com. I've got cute little hoodies and other things that you could even wear to the fun sports game, if you want to. So that is our episode for today, my friends. This has been the Secrets of a Witch podcast with me, Sabrina Scott, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.